Namaskar everyone. My name is Antriksh. I study in 7th class. Today we are going to explore our solar system. Our solar system is filled with many interesting and fascinating objects which makes us curious about it. Let's gain knowledge about our solar system. Our solar system. Have you ever looked up into the sky and wondered what was there? Higher than the birds, past the clouds and further than the moon. The whole host of fascinating objects spin around the outer space. Let's explore our solar system now.
Now, let's imagine for a moment that we can leave the Earth behind to explore our solar system that surrounds it. We can call it solar system because everything in it is centered around the sun, and solar means something to do with the sun. The sun is a star just like many other stars that you can see in the night sky, just many times closer to us. Still, the sun is very far from the earth, almost 93 million miles away. That is why it is looking so small, even though it is the biggest object in the solar system. In fact, the sun makes up more than 99.84% mass in the solar system. If you put all the planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and everything else in the solar system together, they would make up less than 1/4 of its percent. The sun is so big, it's more than 109 times wider than the earth. And if it were a jar, you could fit more than 1 million earths into it. More than this, the sun is what holds the solar system together. Its massive gravity. It keeps the Earth and all the other planets circling around it instead of drifting off into planets. The sun is also allows us to live on the Earth. Without the sun, there would be no heat, there would be no light, plants could not grow, water would be frozen, nothing could survive. The sun gives us heat and light because it is always burning. It is a giant ball of gases, mostly hydrogen and helium. It burns in millions of degrees in center. Let's leave the sun now to explore the planets. As we move away from the sun, the first planet we encounter is Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system, much smaller than Earth, and one of the only 5 planets you can see from using nothing but your own eyes. Of course, won't look much like a planet. It looks more like a bright star, and many nights you can see it near the close of horizon, the sunset and sunrise. Mercury is not like our moon. It's small and has rocky surface with craters on it. It has no moons of its own and no air to breathe. You probably won't enjoy to visit the Mercury, since temperature is boiling hot and freezing cold in the shade. Something interesting about Mercury is that it is the fastest planet to go around the sun. It takes only 88 days. Next is Venus, the second planet. Some people call it Venus, Earth's sister, because two planets are very close in size and gravity, but it difference are in surface. First, it is the hottest planet in the solar system. It's not as close as Mercury, but its thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide helps it to trap the heat of sun and keeps it warm than its neighbor. It is having a thick atmosphere, but not one you could breathe. It is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. There are clouds of sulfuric acid. Venus might not fun to visit, but it is the beautiful to look at. Second brightest object in the night sky. You can look if the sunrise or sunset, and suddenly you notice, like bright star, you could probably look at Venus. After Venus, Earth comes, the third planet from Sun. Of course, you know all about Earth because it is the planet where we live. Earth is called a Goldilocks planet because it is not too cold, not too cold and not too hot. It is just right. As far as we know, planets, because it is not too hot, not too cold, it's all right. Far as we know, Earth is only the planet which has living thing. Of the Sun, Mars is known as red planet because iron oxide, a material like rust in the soil, it gives its reddish color. Mars is smaller than Venus and Earth but larger than Mercury. It is the cold and rocky planet with thin atmosphere made up of carbon dioxide and oxygen. There is water and ice form in Mars. Scientists are very interested about Mars because were people could live there. Help of some specific equipments, probes and rockets are already being sent there to surface of Mars, sending information to back Earth. Mars is the first planet we visited today, besides Earth, is to have its own moon. It has two, although they are not big as round and as our moon. Mars moons are small and irregular. Scientists think they are maybe captured asteroids, maybe they came from big asteroid belt that is between the Jupiter and Mars. And asteroid belt is a ring of asteroids or rocky objects orbiting the Sun. Jupiter comes the next, the fifth planet in the solar system. Jupiter is the largest planet and something called as a gas giant. It is called this because it is already big and made up of mostly gases. Jupiter has that you would place 11 Earths end to end, just stretch across the middle. Jupiter has also brightest object in the night sky, only Venus and Moon the brighter. You can obviously look at Jupiter higher than the sky than Venus, and Jupiter is away from Sun and not towards it. Jupiter has at least 67 moons that circle around it, but 55 are smaller, very smaller. Are only about the big as a mountain or smaller. Some of its moons are very large, at least two of them about the same size as Mercury, and one of its moon is the largest moon in the solar system. Of these, largest moon can be seen from Earth in your backyard with the telescope. People cannot land on Jupiter because it made up of gases. There is no ground to land on. Even if there would be some land, Jupiter has covered with a terrible storm, stronger even than the strongest storm on Earth. One storm is also known we can see from Earth. It is known as red spot because that is look like, and it has been going from 200 years. After Jupiter it comes Saturn, another gas giant. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings. Although it is made up of solid from the distance, this ring is actually made up of many small ice particles and well as dust and rocks. Saturn is also the sixth or 60 moons orbiting around it, some as larger as Mercury and many smaller. Something interesting about Saturn is even though it is the largest, it is very large in size, dense, but it is very less dense. That means if you could find a bathtub large enough to put Saturn in it, you would see floating instead of sinking. Saturn is farther planet that we can see from Earth without the help of telescope. After Saturn comes Uranus, means Varun Greh, the seventh planet from the Sun. Uranus is another gas giant, but much smaller than Saturn and Jupiter. Unlike other planets in the solar system, they have much smaller than the Saturns and 27 known moons. Uranus is covered in blue clouds made up of methane, which gives it lovely color. Very similar to Uranus is Neptune, the eighth planet. It is also called Arun Greh, planets from the Sun. Mercury Neptune is another gas giant, and unlike Uranus, it is made up of methane atmosphere, so also look blue. Neptune is darker blue than Uranus, and scientists aren't sure why. Neptune has a few thin rings and 14 moons that we know about. Because Neptune is so far out in space, it takes very long time to go around the sun. Remember, Mercury that takes only 88 days. Poor Neptune takes 164 years to finish one orbit to the sun. The last time the Neptune was seen at the same time was before American Civil War, before the computers and aeroplanes. Now, you think that I'm forgetting someone. Pluto was discovered in 1930 and was listed as ninth planet in the solar system. As it was studied longer, scientists realized how smaller it was. It is much smaller than another planets in the solar system, even smaller than other moons. Plus, people started discovering many small rocky planets, objects near space. Pluto, some of them were bigger than Pluto. In 2006, after 27 years listed as planet, Pluto was declared as dwarf planet to show that it was something like a planet but much smaller. There were 6 dwarf planets. Now we have learned about 8 official planets in the solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune.
I hope you enjoyed and liked exploring our solar system with me today. Goodbye till the next time. Thank you.